Hello, 안녕하세요. Ryan Walters here at Seoul World Cup Stadium along with Paul Meets
Hello there.
and Matthew Binns.
Hello.
A very happy Matthew Binns. Because, well, we saw some goals in this one. We were a little worried in the first half that this might be a dull affair. It certainly wasn't that. At the end of the first half and into the second half, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors walk away comprehensive 4-1 winners. Matthew, I mean, we obviously deserve result. We don't even have to start there. But Lee Dong-guk with a brace in the second half. Is he where the goals are coming from Jeonbuk yet again?
It looks that way, but I mean, he was given a lot of space for that first one, if we're going to begrudge one of them. But
yeah,
2 goals. You give him the opportunities, he'll always score. He's never really lost that. I think, though, it's something different. It's not quite Lee Dong-guk's going to be providing the goals, but I think when he is on the pitch, he makes the team work differently. Now, he started today, and I think with Lee Dong-guk on the pitch and with no traditional target man, Cho Kyu-sung's quite tall, Lars Velvik's obviously quite tall, by having Lee Dong-guk, because he tends to drop back a lot as well, Lee Dong-guk, Jeonbuk passed it more. There was no real long passes from Jeonbuk today. There was a lot of sideways passes, a lot of back passes, which I didn't think helped the build-up. They found it hard to pry open FC Seoul, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
FC Seoul were very organised defensively, but I'll let Paul touch on that in a minute. But I think what I did enjoy about Jeonbuk today was it was more of a throwback to when they're at the best.
Yeah.
I think they kept it on the deck. They created. Lee Dong-guk was moving and just dropping back and letting people come into play. And maybe Lee Dong-guk is where the goals come from, but maybe it won't be him scoring them. Maybe he'll be bringing other people into play. So at the moment, he could be Jeonbuk's best option still.
Certainly looks like it. 41 years young. And Paul, it looked like it was going to be a very different match heading into the half. Like Matt said, Seoul was defending extremely well. They quite literally marched Cho Kyu-sung out of the game. He was subbed out before the half. Just couldn't get anything going. Park Ji-young with a lovely goal right before halftime, went to VAR. It was obviously a goal there. And it looked like they were going to come out and be all right in the second half. What happened?
I don't know, because the first half gave us, it led me at least to believe that Seoul were going to be, at least have some kind of idea of what they were going to do when they got the ball. It was very clear in the first half that they're going to counter-attack. Now, Adriano and Choi, I thought they combined quite well together in the brief sort of spell that they were on the pitch at the same time. Adriano isn't the player that he was 5 years ago. He hasn't got the pace. But having Choi alongside him, I thought that if he can be the legs for Adriano, then it might have been a good option. And it did look as if that was going to be the way they were going to try and approach things. But Adriano faded. He clearly isn't fit.
Yeah.
Which obviously then forced Chung-soo to bring on Park Ji-young for Adriano. And although Park Ji-young got the goal, it was a good goal, as you said, Ryan. But Seoul never really played what they did.
Well, yeah, I think you said to me in the first half, Paul, like, Jeonbuk are keeping 2 men back to mark Adriano. Yeah. I think as soon as Adriano came off, I think Jeonbuk weren't really scared of the threat Park Ji-young had, really. So, yeah, I think, well, yes, if he's not fit, he's not fit. But
if he's not fit, though, but why do you start him? I mean, for me, if a striker like him, who's a predator in the box, even without his pace, he still knows where the back of the net is. You bring him on. You know, I looked at the 2 benches, and I realised just the gulf between these 2 teams.
Yeah.
Jeonbuk's bench was very, very, very strong. Seoul's had 3 kids on there. One of them came on for his professional debut, so congratulations to him. But when I saw the lineups, I thought this game is going to be affected in the second half because of what happens off the bench. Yeah. It turned out that it wasn't. It was, scored 2 goals and then came off. But they had that luxury of bringing on Kunamoto, Lars Veldvik. Seoul, they brought on Park Ji-young and he scored. He should probably have started. Go Johan should probably have started as well. But after that, what were their options? There weren't any. Second half was very, very flat. The 2 quick goals in the second half really took the stuffing out of FC Seoul. Yeah. You can't really do much about a strike like Lee Seung-gi's. But what I will say is he was given too much time to be allowed to shoot. There was too much confusion about whether Han Kyo-won was going to be awarded a penalty. He went down in the box just before that goal. I think people on both sides were guilty of ball watching and kind of waiting for the referee to make a decision. In the end, Lee Seung-gi made a decision and he scored. And Seoul never really got out of second gear. Yeah. Sorry, Jeonbuk never really got out of second gear because they didn't need to. Seoul were very, very poor second half. Jeonbuk at a canter, very comfortable, and just showed that just how much of a gulfing class there is between these two teams, even still.
Yeah, I think we've been saying for a long time that we haven't seen the best out of Jeonbuk yet. I think this is their best performance of the season. But like you say, Paul, you got to wonder how much there is to it. Just looked out of sorts in the second half. Caught ball watching on almost all of the goals there. You know, credit to Jeonbuk for opening them up. Han Kyo-won to Lee Dong-guk's been working for a long time. It worked well for 2 goals today. And like you say, Lee Sung-gi, if you haven't seen it yet, just go watch that highlight goal because that was just lovely.
There's been some good goals already in these first 5 rounds, and that's going to be up there as well when we look back on the end of the season. But I would just like to interject just a second as well, because I think I'm not saying this is the reason. I just think it's quite coincidental that last week we saw Jeonbuk came out well in the second half against Gangwon last week, even though they had 10 men, but Jose Moraes went to the stand. Jose Moraes, he's now banned for 2 matches, and under new K-League guidelines, he's not actually allowed to communicate with the bench anymore. So all of this today was assistant manager Kim Sang-shik as well, and Jeonbuk, for the first time in ages, this is Jeonbuk with 5 red cards across all competitions this season, the 6 matches. Jeonbuk had no bookings today.
Very good point. Yeah,
that is a very
they look calmer.
point.
They look calmer. They look more incisive. It did take a while to get going in the first half, and like I said, some credit due to Seoul there. I think they were very well organised, but they looked calm as well. And yeah, FC Seoul weren't probably at their best, but I just think it's quite coincidental that the frustration never really boiled over like we've seen with Jeonbuk in these recent weeks.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we said this was going to be kind of a statement game for both of these teams to see if Jeonbuk is the Jeonbuk of old. They definitely showed that, and FC Seoul have got a lot of questions to ask, mainly up top, which is what we keep saying every time we watch FC Seoul, who's going to score goals for them. The absences up there are just massive. Pesic still out hurt, and Park Dong-jin, the converted defender. They're missing him more than maybe anybody. So summer transfer window opens up this month, so it's going to be really interesting to see what FC Seoul do there. But speaking of things that are interesting, we're going to get out of here. But in about 15 minutes, the East Coast Derby is kicking off tonight. Coverage for that will be here on K-League United. We have Pete Hampshire in the stadium for that one, so he'll be keeping you up to date for that. And that should be a fun one as well. All sorts of matches going on tomorrow. FA Cup's happening earlier today. It's happening tonight. Today's just nuts. So stay on social. We'll have all of it for you there. But for now, thanks for watching.